Hi everyone, Redhead Metal Diva here, Reducing Red. Coming to you with my 1 week post-op VSG follow-up. It's been a really tough week. I typed in my blog earlier today and was actually feeling pretty decent compared to last night, and then it seems to come on right again. In the evening. I've kind of curtailed it a little bit with a bunch of crushed ice, just sucking on that for a while. But then my ice started to taste like dirt and I couldn't do it anymore. So now here I am again struggling. Either way, I promised everyone I would do a 1 week follow-up. So here are the numbers. My highest weight was 238.4 or something. Day of surgery, which was December 30th, 2013, was 229. Today I was 212.6. So as you can tell, I did lose quite a bit of weight. Kind of sort of celebrating it only because it's just about the only real positive thing I've had this week, unfortunately. You can visit my blog. The website's below here somewhere, to get more about the story, but basically I went into surgery. Everything was great besides the fact that I was already partially dehydrated because I hadn't had anything to drink in over 10 hours. And that's kind of common for me. I normally drink 4 to 6 liters of water a day. And so when I don't drink, I get pretty dehydrated pretty quickly. People can't get fasting labs easily, things like that. So they had some trouble getting the IV. They kept using pain shots before trying to get a vein, and I kept telling her it wasn't necessary. The numbing shots hurt way more than her trying to find a vein does, and I told her about some horror stories I'd had before, previously being dehydrated, and people just kind of rooting around in there for 6 minutes, and, doesn't really bother me. I'm not afraid of needles, and I always have to have regular blood work, my whole life, so I'm really, really used to, people sticking me. But she didn't want to, so I guess that was her training, and that's her choice. She ended up getting a vein in the back of my hand, which I didn't completely love. But, it was fine once it was there. I was told the surgery went phenomenal. No bleeding, everything was great. One kind of extra little tidbit though, my surgeon discovered that I have an extra spleen. I don't know if that makes any sense to look at for anyone, but at the top there, I have 2 spleens. So yay, hooray for me! From now on, when I introduce myself, hey, Redhead Metal Diva, 2 spleens, what's up? But apparently it's just an accessory organ, it doesn't actually function, so I can't donate it or anything like that. It doesn't help me out with my white blood cells and whatnot, but cool little fact, I guess. Recovery was really difficult, but that's as I expected. I don't tolerate general anesthesia well, never have. I always get just really nauseous for quite a while afterwards, and there's really nothing that they can give me to stop that. In the past when I've had surgery, it wasn't like a terrible deal, but this time, having 5 incisions on my stomach, just being made, retching for a few hours was really painful, and the recovery nurse wasn't, she wasn't that nice. needless to say, my night and next day in the hospital were great. I had the pain pump in my IV, and I didn't really feel like I needed it, but I was afraid that if it wore off, I would get in a lot of pain, so I was pretty much just waiting for that light to turn on all night so that I could push it every 6 minutes. But then after about 6 a.m., I just kind of stopped using it because I missed, 10 minutes or so and I wasn't in pain. So I pushed it a little bit farther and ended up not using it the rest of the day. In the afternoon, the nurse had me switch to Percocet, which I didn't want because it makes me nauseous, but she gave me some anti-nausea stuff, and it ended up being fine. I didn't actually get the prescription for the Percocet because it makes me so sick that I don't do well with nausea, so anything I can do in my power to not be nauseous, I do that, even if that means being a little uncomfortable for a while. Fine with that. Prefer it to being nauseous. That being said, this whole week I've pretty much been nauseous. Tuesday night when I got home from the hospital, I threw up a couple times, which was awful. All bile, but completely awful, completely painful. But the next day I felt really good, besides being sore and moving slowly. I felt pretty good. I know I didn't get my 48 ounces in, but I wasn't counting on it the day after. But then the next day I got even less in, felt nauseous, didn't throw up, thank goodness. Next day was unable to get even 36 ounces in, which is less than half of what I need to be getting in. And I just thought, maybe my body was kind of like, alright, I'm done with the liquids. And so the third day, my surgeon said I could introduce, liquid protein. And I tried taking sips of everything I tried before the surgery and liked, and I couldn't stomach any of it. Ended up vomiting again last night before? Last night. Spoke with my surgeon. He said, try getting a lot of different juices, Gatorade, things like that, water them down. Drink them at room temperature, drink them really slowly, make sure you're not getting any air in, because I'm kind of getting this little pain for 3 or 4 seconds, after I swallow things. It's not everything, it's not every time, but it doesn't happen, so he was thinking maybe somehow I'm swallowing some air, and that kind of makes sense to me, but now that I'm really paying attention to not having air, I don't know that I am getting air, but needless to say, my surgeon said if I could make it through the weekend, I wouldn't have to do an expensive ER visit for fluids. I could just go to his office and get those. So that's my plan. Tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up as soon as they open, make an appointment, get some fluids, get some Zofran. I'm not handling this nausea well at all. I'm pretty dehydrated. I'm not urinating, sorry, TMI, but I'm really just kind of like hazy, out of it, weak, and am having a harder and harder time getting fluids in. Not that I'm throwing them up, but just being nauseous, my tendency, my body's just revolting. I can't get them in me. It's so uncomfortable. Is that my cat cleaning himself? Anyway, so I kind of staved off a real nauseous afternoon with a bunch of crushed ice till it started tasting like dirt. So my husband's going to bring me some home from QT, and hopefully I can kind of get feeling a little bit better again. I'm hoping that getting some IV fluids in and some Zofran, I can get rehydrated enough to the point and not nauseous to the point where I can get back on track. I am supposed to fly to New York with my husband and some friends next Monday, a week from today, or tomorrow. A little worried that that trip might be in jeopardy for me just because I'm not not doing well. But we'll see tomorrow after I talk to my surgeon, get some fluids, get some Zofran or something. Normally I take Benadryl for nausea, and it works great for me, but it's not really cutting it. So kind of disappointing. I really thought that getting in fluids was going to be easy for me, you know, having, you know, an average of 4 to 6 liters a day before the surgery, you know, and water being all of it. I hardly had anything besides water. You know, I thought it was going to be easy for me, and it wasn't. So, kind of taking a little setback, but I'm not regretting my decision. My heart rate is already down, you know, in the 90s, and that's from 130s. And that was one of the main things I was really kind of crossing my fingers on. That would go down, because with the inappropriate sinus tachycardia, nothing worked. No meds worked, nothing. And so they're like, well, basically we had to burn your heart, and didn't want to do that. So I'm really pleased with that. My blood pressure, the last time I was taken in the hospital, was like 118/82, and that's already much lower than it has been in recent years. So I'm very pleased about that as well. And I did it more for trying to help these health problems and get off medications, than so much for the weight. I mean, obviously the weight is what causes a lot of the health problems, so it kind of goes hand in hand, but you know, I didn't do this to look cute in clothes. That'll just kind of be a bonus, I guess. I'm starting to really feel sick again, so I may do a video update after I see my surgeon and get some fluids if I'm doing better, just to let you guys know that it worked. Other than that, I'll be doing once a week unless something really significant happens. And I'm going to try to write in my blog more often, even though I'm not feeling well. That's why I didn't write for a whole week. So yeah, so thanks for watching. 12 minutes, pretty good. Going on 13 here, but thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.